was good.
Getting all the topics in.
It was good.
Yeah.
Really quick on you're an environmentalist? Care about the environment
would
or something?
say that if I have to put a label on it, I feel like the only way that we're going to reach systemic change is by collective action. So I'm not an environmentalist per se. I'm someone who advocates for bipartisan climate solutions.
And when you say collective action, do you mean like on an individual level, like we shouldn't be using plastic straw, like plastic?
What I mean by that is a broader concept. So I'm talking about the diffusion of innovation theory. So essentially it states that you have early adopters, right? It's a small percentage of people, and in order to create a new social convention, which is when the majority of society adopts a new idea and it becomes just like taught practice, it's passed along through generations, and it becomes a part of our societal institutions, you need at least 50% of the population to embrace this new convention.
So what would be, I mean, are you looking on the individual level that people need to make changes?
I think that people individually should be making changes. I don't think it's the responsibility of the individuals. I will say, caveat to that. I think that it will be taking the work of individuals and also larger corporations.
Okay, so what is like an action on the individual level that we should be doing to lessen the impact on the environment and climate? Like single-use plastics, would that be?
I actually really appreciate you asking this question. I think this is something that I personally do, and it's such an easy fix. All I do is I wash my clothes on cold water. It's such an easy, quick that you can make, and it's environmentally friendly. It takes so much unnecessary energy in order to heat the water to go to your laundry room. I want everyone at this single table, start washing your clothes with cold water. It's just as effective. Studies have shown that it's just as effective.
And it cleans it better.
But
and it cleans it better. And it gets the stains out faster, and it also your colors won't fade, your clothes will stay nice. You won't have to buy clothes as often because they're not fading, they're not deteriorating as quickly. And it's such an easy, quick fix.
So what about like plastic usage?
Plastic usage, I will say, okay, it's very, very hard to undercut plastic usage just because literally everything comes in a plastic container, right? So I'd say it's just like tiny steps. When I go to the grocery store, I try to bring like reusable produce bags, and I try to bring my own bags. Sometimes I forget. I'm human. I'm not going to beat myself up over that, and I don't think any of us should be like holding ourselves to these impossible standards. But I think there are like little things that you can take that do make a difference.
Do you see this? Put it back on other angle, Nick, really quick. Back to the other angle. Yeah, you guys see this bottle? So I have a dating story.
Oh, no.
Let's hear it.
Based off a water bottle?
This was 3-4 years ago. I don't remember exactly. 3-4 years ago, I was on a date with a girl. I brought this, not this exact bottle, but it used to actually be. It used to be called Poland Spring, but they rebranded. In any case, I brought a water bottle just like this onto a first date with a girl, and the date was actually going well. We were bantering. I don't think it was a perfect fit, but at the end of the date, as we were about to leave, and she made a statement about you shouldn't. This was one of the most peculiar things I've had happen on a date. She went on this rant, like she was upset at me for having brought a plastic water. I'm not making this up. I swear this happened.
She's got a flask, huh?
No, I believe you. I believe
so I
you.
went
There
on
are
the first
people that
date,
are like that.
and she was kind of eyeing it the whole time. And she's like, Brian, you shouldn't have brought a plastic water, but it's so wasteful. Why don't you buy? She's like looking at you all shifty. Yeah. And I was wondering to myself if that was the reason why the whole date she was a little bit on edge, because I brought a plastic water bottle. And her tone when she confronted me on this, mind you, the date was pretty much over. She was like, last thing, one last, before we go, want to tell you this. God, I wish I recorded that. Oh my God, that would have been, okay, content. Okay. Anyways. Where was I? Oh, okay. Yeah.
She said F you and your plastic water bottle.
Yeah, she was getting mad at you for having the plastic water bottle.
Yeah, so, so I actually reversed it on her, and I was like, well, what kind of car do you drive? How often do you take vacations? I noticed you're wearing makeup. That comes in plastic containers. Would you be willing to cease your makeup usage for the betterment of the environment? So I guess my question, kind of jumping off of that is
that a makeup
would you be willing to make a commitment right now? If I'm willing, I will promise you, for all my washes, I will only use cold water. If you are willing to stop buying and wearing makeup. Do you agree?
Well, there's actually makeup that you can buy that uses reusable containers. See, like when I'm getting makeup, I buy refills.
Well, okay, so what about the? Okay, so what about the?
Yeah, and who was that makeup tested on? How did they test to make sure it was safe for human consumption?
Okay, but so who?
Now this ties into climate change, by the way.
I know it does.
So the materials that are fine, it's in a paper biodegradable container. Although I suspect probably most of your makeup isn't, but maybe some is. So the actual makeup itself is made up of like, I heard about this thing called mica.
Oh,
and it's frequently in various, I don't know what specifically it's in, but foundation, I don't know exactly. And it's mined essentially by child labor, and then you obviously have to transport these raw materials, and then once this makeup is manufactured in some other country, a lot of these makeup products are not manufactured in the United States, it then has to be shipped across the sea, and then they're burning bunker fuel in these cargo ships, which is fairly
toxic,
fairly bad to the environment. So I guess, would you be willing to? I suppose there are some makeup products that are less impactful than others, but ultimately there's still an impact. So if I'm prepared to say, okay, I'll start washing with water, will you commit right now to no longer wear makeup for the rest of your life?
Here's the thing, and I'm going to go back to your story about the water bottle. I think that you should be able to use your plastic water bottle, right? If I was that girl, I don't think I would have shunned you like that. I buy plastic water bottles every now and then. But you know what I do instead? I reuse them. I'll refill them with water later in case I don't have a water bottle. I'll recycle them. I'll do what I can, right? It's not about fully committing. It's about making the swaps when you can. When I ask you to, here's my logic behind it. When I ask you, when I tell you, you should be washing your clothes with only cold water, does that make a difference in your life? Does that subtract anything from your life? Or is that just you flipping a switch on the washer, pressing start, and nothing in your life changes?
No, it doesn't. I'm not sure. I would have to look into, there could be an argument that could be made. I'm not familiar. I haven't researched arguments when it comes to laundry, but couldn't there be some hold on, let me finish. Couldn't there be some argument that, I can't believe I'm arguing this, that washing things at a higher heat has a better
cleanliness?
Like, what's the word? Like if there's bacteria or something, it has a bigger impact there.
I get what you're saying, yeah. Because hot water has been proven to kill germs better. That's in terms of dishes. That's with your saliva, everything like that.
Well, what if your clothes are soiled?
Are you soiling your clothes often?
No, but I'm just for the sake of argument.
I guess in that instance, yes, I would
bro,
say that.
Have you ever seen skid marks on?
Here's the thing.
I mean, I use baby wipes.
You could just work in a farm or something like this and have soiled clothes, right?
I mean,
or a child.
Wait, but okay, so fine, yeah, it'd be a very simple change, but like, I guess, what utility does wearing makeup serve?
What utility does wearing makeup serve?
Like, what's the actual utility?
I like doing it. I have a good time with it. I don't wear it most days. I would say that I wear it every now and then. A lot of days I'm just too lazy, and like it's not. And if anyone wears it every single day, that's nothing against. Like I'm fine with that too. If no one decides to wear it, individual choice. What my argument here is that I make swaps for the climate in ways that are just like easy. I don't even have to think about it. But I'm not holding myself to this crazy standard, and I would never hold anyone else to this where like you have to do everything environmentally friendly, because I think you're gonna kill yourself trying to just do that. Like it's too much to expect. You're only human. Like I wouldn't expect you to do everything perfectly. You know what I mean? Like that's my logic with it, is like you make the swaps when you can, but I'm not asking you to only use cold water. If your argument about the soiling, I think that's a great point that you raised. If you so happen shit your pants, be my guest, use hot water on your clothes. Should you use cold water when you can? Yeah, probably. But
okay,
I'm not
I'm fine
asking
with
you
that.
to make
So yeah,
all
I'm
of
fine
these
with
swaps.
that. No, but I'm just saying you okay, so I guess where I'm trying to get at, you made a call to action. You're like, hey, everybody at the table, start washing your clothes with cold water.
Yes.
And I'm making a call to action to you to make your own commitment to no longer wearing makeup. Are you willing to accept this call to action?
I will say that I will stop wearing. I'm going to do better research. and I'm going to use makeup that has better environmental benefits. So there's makeup that you can get that's like refills of tints, so you're not buying the packaging every single time. There's makeup with more eco-friendly packaging, makeup that's ethically sourced. I will make that commitment, Brian.
Yeah, so I do appreciate you wanting to make these changes. I think that's awesome. I think if you, as a person, want to make those appeals to other people, that's great. The issue I come across with, generally when this conversation comes up, is when it's legislated by the government. So when it's legislated by the government, it's regardless of any data, regardless of any personal beliefs, regardless of what you think about the subject, we are mandating that you make this change. I think that's extremely dangerous.
Can you
But
provide
if it's
some... what were you going to say?
But if it's for the better of like living on the planet longer.
Well, so to Andrew's point, the climate is an extremely complicated piece of you could say machinery.
Right.
There's so many complex parts to it, so many moving pieces. Actually, since
and their models are always wrong.
Models are always wrong.
The models are always wrong every single time. Their predictions are false every single time. I have absolutely, for 100%, climate change from my perspective, it's not the official whatever podcast stance, it's just Andrew Wilson's perspective. It's a total fucking scam. It's a cash scam, it's a grab and go scam designed specifically for a bunch of politicians and lobbyists to pass climate change legislation so that giant megala corporations can do a hapless cash grab. That's exactly what's been going on since the 1980s. Back in the 60s and 70s, they were saying global cooling is coming to destroy us all. Leonard Nimoy did an entire video about it. It was fantastically stupid then. It's fantastically stupid now. It's a pyramid scheme. All of the predictions have been wrong. I can show you prediction after prediction of climate experts claiming that within the next 2 years, we'll never be able to bring it back. And every single time the predictions are wrong, we are not facing any sort of extinction event due to climate change, not even close.
Even
it's
recycling
ridiculous.
to an
Let's
end
move this on.
Yeah, that's fine.
Do you have
I
a final
agree.
quick thing?
Yeah, I mean,
What were you saying about legislation again?
so we're going to move this on. I just want to make one more point. I mean, just kind of going off of what Andrew's explaining, like where's the hole in the ozone layer? Where's the deforestation that was peddled by a bunch of different lobbying groups? Actually, the Earth right now has more foliage than it did like 20 years ago by a great deal. So, I mean, we don't see these things actually coming to pass. They are all the time, every single time they've made a prediction and it's gone the opposite
There's
direction.
also been research on recycling.
Anyway, we're gonna move on. Brian wants to move on.
$200
Oh,
to the
I'm so sorry, I'm actually
21-year-old Queen of
graduating.
America for a day. How much debt do you have in student loans? Wisen up and realize that you're being trained to be another mindless sheep by boomers who hate America.
I actually do want to address
Jesus.
this because I really appreciate you raising this point. I actually did IB in high school, so I came in with 2 years worth of college credit. So I'm graduating a year early, and I only have $5,000 of student debt, and I'm going to be paying that off within 3 years, and then I'm going to go to grad school debt-free. So thank you for asking about my financial situation.
Thank you, Walking Roscoe. Appreciate it. Morgan, can you read this one?
Bill Nye noted that in the audience lifetime, the percentage of the atmosphere that is carbon dioxide, the prominent greenhouse gas causing global warming, has increased from 0.03% to 0.04%.
Oh, boy.
Okay. Thank you, K Mosfu 20 for the tip there. Appreciate it.
That's 0.4%. Oh no, what are we gonna do? It's over. It's over for everybody.